What's up, guys? Switching it up today from the truck and the boat videos. We're going to be installing a hitch on the rear of our 2021 Bad Boy Maverick. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Very easy to install. We're going to do the rear hitch in this video, and then we're also going to be doing the front hitch in a different video. You guys have seen me do other videos on this tractor. We installed the last fit pod lights on there for cutting in low light conditions, but yeah, I've been wanting to add this hitch for quite a while. Very easy to pop on. Let me show you how to get it done. So this is what the hitch looks like, and all you're going to get in the kit is the hardware. It looks like this. You get 4 bolts, 2 nuts that are that style, and then 2 standard nuts. 9/16 is the size. I'll show you where each one of the style of the nuts go. As I mentioned, very easy install. The mounting locations are going to be, there's a hole here and here, and then if you come up underneath, there's a hole here and here. Okay, and the way this is going to sit, it's going to sit in this orientation. Okay, line up the 2 holes like that, line up the 2 holes there. You're going to take your 2 nuts that look like that, and you're going to put them on here with the threaded side on the top. We're going to line up the holes, and you'll feel them kind of clip on there. They are a little bit snug to get over the lip, but that's for a reason. And once you have your holes aligned, this lip is going to be on the bottom. It's not going to go over. It's going to sit like this. Okay, so we're just going to line up our holes and just pop the bolts through to get them started. And because of the powder coating, these might be a little bit tight, which they are. So just get them started through the powder coating, and then you'll be good. Before we tighten anything down, I'm just going to go ahead and get all 4 locations started. Okay, so we had our first hiccup. All of the pictures that I've seen online have these bolts, or I'm sorry, these clamp nuts with the threaded part on the top. When you do that, at least on my tractor, there's a gap. It doesn't line up or sit properly. When I go to put this on here, there's a gap between the back of the hitch and this spot here. So what I did was I flipped them around, and I now have the threaded part on the bottom. And when I do it this way, everything lines up perfectly. So I'll show you. We're gonna slide this lip up over the top now. Again, I apologize. Everything I've seen online said to do it the other way, but at least on my tractor, it does not line up when you do it. So this way, you can see the back of this sits nice and flush on there. The holes up here are going to line up perfectly. I'll show you. We can thread the bolt right down through, start screwing it in, lines up perfect. So I'm not sure if just all the pictures I've seen online were done incorrectly, or if for some reason my tractor is different. But if you're installing this and you try to do it one way versus the other, you know, just make sure it lines up, because I'm doing mine differently than every other picture I've seen on the internet. So I'm kind of glad I ran into that. There's not a whole lot of videos out there on this install. So again, if you do decide to get this hitch, see what happens on your end. But it's just a matter of basically flipping these back clamp nuts around so the threaded part is on the bottom, and then putting this lip piece up over this piece of the tractor. And now everything is lining up perfectly for me. So it's literally just a matter of tightening down the bolts. Again, 9/16, and the install is going to be done. Up close look of how this is on there. So as I mentioned, you can see the clamp nuts have the threaded portion on the bottom. You can see how they kind of sit there. Same on the other side. And then this lip right, sorry about the light going out, my battery died, but you can still see here. So this lip goes up and over this portion. So you can see how it's sitting up there, okay? Doing it the other way, there was a gap between this orange part of the tractor and the back part of the hitch. It was not lining up properly. So very easy to install, but I'm curious to see if anybody else has the same issue as me, because as I mentioned, every picture I've seen online, and there's really only one other video that I found on YouTube of this install. Just the pictures I saw didn't work for me. So there it is. Very easy to install once you get it all lined up. There you have it, guys. The rear hitch install on the Bad Boy Maverick 2021 and up. If you get this hitch, put in the comments down below what your experience is as far as that location thing. I did go back and check that other video on YouTube, and I'm not going to mention his name or, you know, mention his channel, but he does it with this, that lip on the underneath, and you can see when you go to tighten, when he goes to tighten his bolts on the inside, he has that gap. And as he tightens, he basically forces it and makes it work. But you can tell it doesn't line up properly by when you put this lip on the underneath. So again, I'm not going to call him out by name. It's really the only other video on YouTube that I found with this install. But as I mentioned, you can clearly tell when he goes to tighten the bolts on the inside, there's a gap, and he basically just kind of tightens it and makes everything line up. This way, the way I did it, everything just lines up perfectly right from the start. You don't have to force anything, or, you know, the holes just line up perfectly. So if you get this hitch, let me know what you think and what your experience is. Super easy to install once you get that part figured out. So can't wait to be able to use this around the house. And I'm actually going to see and test it out if I can maneuver the boat around the garage with this instead of the truck as well. So stay tuned. I'll share my experience on that. Check it out. Rear hitch, Bad Boy Maverick 2021 and up.